I'm making Amish sugar cookies, and what you'll need is granulated sugar, powdered sugar, a cup of real butter, half a cup of corn oil, 2 eggs, 4½ cups of flour, vanilla, and then a teaspoon of vanilla, and a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of soda, and a teaspoon of cream of tartar. First thing we're going to do is we're going to beat our cup of butter, our cup of powdered sugar, and our cup of granulated sugar. We're going to get them mixed up. I've got my oven preheating to 325, and lots of sugar cookies you have to chill first, and these sugar cookies you don't have to. Alright, now we've got our butter and our sugars blended together. And now we want to add in our half of a cup of corn oil. Alright. Blend that in. Alright, next we're going to add in our 2 eggs. Once I get that cream together, I pretty well just use a spoon to mix the rest of the ingredients in. Alright, get those eggs beat in there. Alright. Next, we're going to start adding in our dry ingredients. I've taken 4½ cups of flour, and I've already put my cream of tartar and my baking soda and my salt in here and mixed it up. It's always good to blend them in that way. And now I'm going to add these just this little at a time. Put a little of your dry ingredients in and stir and get it blended in there, and add a little bit more. And I'm going to do that until all the dry ingredients are in with the liquid. Alright, I've got the flour all mixed in, and the next step, I've got my cooking sheet, my cookie sheet, and I've sprayed it with cooking spray. And the next step is to take and roll the dough into balls. Now there's I don't always do this, but you can take a smaller bowl and add some sugar in it and roll your sugar cookie in the sugar, granulated sugar. Or I like to let mine cool and ice them. So I'll do some with the sugar, and then some will not roll in the sugar. And once they cool down, I'll make a powdered sugar icing to put on there. So now we're going to roll all your balls up and put them on the cookie sheet and pop them in the oven for 5 to 7 minutes. This is a very soft cookie. It's not crisp or anything. They're delicious. Alright, I've got the dough rolled into balls. And the next thing you do before you put them in the oven is you take a glass and gently press them out. If it wants to stick, just dip it there in the sugar, or you can dip it in a little bit of flour. It's been about 7 minutes and our cookies are done, and as you can see, they don't get real brown, but they are cooked thoroughly. I'm going to finish up rolling up these and baking them all, and I'm going to let them cool completely, and then I'm going to ice them. What you'll need for this icing is some Crisco lard and some powdered sugar and a little bit of milk and probably about a teaspoon of vanilla. As far as this cookie dough recipe, great cookie, love it, one of my favorites, but I wouldn't recommend it if you were wanting to use cookie cutters because it's a little bit too soft for that. For that you would need just a regular sugar cookie recipe like you do refrigerate, because it makes it easier to handle. I'm making frosting, and what you'll need is about a tablespoon of Crisco all vegetable shortening, and I'm going to put about a teaspoon of vanilla in here. And we'll start out with a tablespoon of milk just to see, and about 2 cups of powdered sugar. Basically, this is just stirring it up. Takes a little while to get the shortening blended in to the powdered sugar, but just keep working at it, and you'll add a little of milk, little at a time, because you can always add in but you can't take out, until it's the consistency to where you want it. So now we're going to go with just a little more milk. This is a great frosting to use. I'm gonna put it on my sugar cookies, but I've also used it on cakes before. It's delicious. You can add food coloring to it to make it different colors, or just leave it white. It's an excellent frosting. The recipe comes down from a lady that used to make cakes. And there we have it, frosting. I've added a little bit of yellow food coloring, so my icing will be yellow. It's at a good consistency for icing. This is a delicious. I think you'll really like it. It's good to work with. It tastes good. It sets up good. It's just a real nice frosting. There you have it. Homemade frosting. For this recipe and others, go to www.carolseasycooking.com.